Hello, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk and from unboxings.com, and here courtesy of our friends over at kingofgadgets.co.uk we have the ZTE Tureis. It's actually a pre-release version that I have here, obviously not full boxed, hence it not being a proper unboxing video. This is going to be a bit more of a demo and a look at the hardware. As I say, this is pre-release, so things may change a little bit in terms of what you see here, but essentially the hardware is going to stay the same. So starting with this, let's look on the front. We have a 2.6 inch display, which is quarter VGA, 320 by 240 pixels. Might be some might criticise it as being a bit of a limitation over being quarter VGA, but we'll go have a look at that a little bit later on. Below that we have a series of keys, so the phone keys on either side, home, menu, search and back button, and then there's this sort of D-pad in the centre with a push button in the middle for actually sort of navigating around, moving the cursor and position and so on. Then we have a full QWERTY keyboard, effectively on 4 rows, and we have the embedded numeric pad there as well in the middle. Very similar to, obviously, everybody I think is clearly going to draw comparisons with this and obviously BlackBerries. And well, I guess that ZTE are hoping to actually win a bit of the BlackBerry market, or those that might otherwise have bought a BlackBerries being that bit more expensive than this ZTE handset's going to be, and maybe win a bit of that market for Android texters and those people using Facebook chat and that kind of stuff. So there we go. On looking at the left hand side, we have an up and down volume control. On the bottom, really nothing to see. There's a little cutout here which actually allows us to remove the back cover. And on the right hand side, really all we have to see is the actual micro USB sync charge connector. On the top we have the power button and the 3.5mm headphone connector, and then on the back we have a 3.2 megapixel camera, no flash unfortunately. 3.2 megapixels is not particularly high res, but obviously the quality is not all just about the number of pixels. Grill there is actually the loudspeaker, obviously with Google on the back, and this sort of textured finish, textured paint that we've seen on other handsets before just makes it sort of slightly less slippery, little less likely to pop out your hand. Back cover pops off like so, which reveals the battery which is already in place, and the battery's listed capacity is 1100 milliamp hours, and then we have SIM card slot and micro SD card slot there as well. Let's just pop that back cover on, that just snaps up into place. Rest of the specification that we run down for you: 112mm from top to bottom, just over 63mm wide, and a little under 12mm thick. It does feel quite thin in your hand, it feels quite light as well. 126 grams, not particularly heavy. Yeah, it's a fairly decent fitting handset. Little bit, obviously, we've already seen, a little bit larger than the BlackBerry 9780 that we have there, but also comparable weight. Makes the keyboard keys are a little bit bigger also than the 9780 though, with a little bit of advantage there in that respect. Qualcomm processor, MSM 7227 processor. We've got 512 meg of RAM, and 512 meg of ROM and 256 megabytes of RAM, and the micro SD card slot does support up to 32 gig micro SD memory cards. The standby time on the spec that we've been given here is 200 hours and talk time of 4 hours. Bluetooth 2.1 with A2DP support and so on. Micro USB connector on the side is USB 2.0. 3.5mm headphone connector will also support wired headset, and this is likely to ship with a wired headset, as do the vast majority of other handsets. FM radios built in, GPS, compass, proximity sensor and accelerometer, which most of those sensors are going to be just under the top part here. And we're running Android Froyo, and I think that really pretty much covers the specification. Let's just power up. Phone has already been powered up and started, so no SIM card, so hence it's actually talking about emergency call. And then we slide to unlock, because we are has capacitive touchscreen along with obviously the keyboard, so we can use the keyboard to move around, and you can see the cursor position moving with the D-pad, or obviously we can also then use our fingers to swipe across the screen. So on the main screen we have 8 icons with YouTube, Gmail, Android Market, what's that, SFRJ, dialer, contacts, messages and Facebook, with a Google search with voice search there as well. Swiping across we have like the power bar, so we can turn on and off Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, sync, synchronization I think is there as well, and then your backlight brightness that you can toggle so it's put to maximum. There's videos and music there. A blank page which allows us therefore to actually add additional shortcuts or additional widgets, and there are a few there that we can actually add. They're already pre-included. Obviously we can go to download more from the Android market. Here we have talk, Twitter, maps and navigation, and I managed to tap on an icon there. Let's go back home, and another blank page there. Pushing the button down the side, we can go into the phone dialer, and we can use the number keys down the bottom to actually dial, and then there isn't actually an on-screen keyboard or touchscreen keypad for dialing numbers. It wouldn't appear. No, it doesn't look like we have, so we are forced to use this numeric pad. I'm not sure if we've got a backlight. Yes, we have a slightly backlit display there, a little bit more difficult to tell, but it is slightly backlit, so at least at night you will be able to dial your numbers. The other button brings up the full list of applications. So in here we have fairly standard stuff, to be honest with you. Facebook there, pre-installed, obviously the application for the FM radio, alarm, browser and so on, and Google Maps. There's lots of this SFR stuff, which I guess is because of the ROM version that we have installed on here. Again, this is very likely to change. I think almost certainly the ROM version that we're looking at will change. Stopwatch and Google Talk, Task Manager, Twitter, videos and YouTube. There's a few other bits and pieces on there. If I go back home, like so, push the menu button, we can go into settings, and we go wireless networks, and we'll turn the Wi-Fi on. I'm just going to quickly look at a couple of things here. So we go to Wi-Fi settings, it's scanning for a Wi-Fi network, which it's found, so we just go ahead and connect to that one. Doesn't look like we have an on-screen keyboard in any orientation. No, so there's no on-screen keyboard, it wouldn't appear, but that's okay, because obviously clearly we have the physical QWERTY, but let's go and do that. Well, unfortunately we're having a bit of difficulty joining a Wi-Fi network, which, well, it isn't terribly unusual, to be honest, when you have a pre-release handset, so don't be too concerned about that, because the ROM will change on here, so it's no big problem. I'm sure it will actually be sorted out, so don't take too much notice of that. Once we sort that out, I'll come back and do a bit more of a video. Most of the things on here that I wanted to show you do require us to have an internet connection, so I'll do a follow-up video once we actually sort out our Wi-Fi problem. In the meantime, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's twitter.com/TracyandMatt or facebook.com/TracyandMatt.co.uk. If you want to ask us anything about the Tureis or any other handsets, then please do so. We'll do our best to actually answer your questions. As I say, this has been the ZTE Tureis, supplied by our friends over at kingofgadgets.co.uk. We'll have a full review for you shortly, and I'll be back soon with some more videos and reviews on TracyandMatt.co.uk. But for now, thanks for watching.